Hello, everyone. This is Olivia,
And Isabella.
and this is our podcast about humans and animals and their relationships together. We're going to address the main question: to what extent are animals and humans in a symbiotic and interdependent relationship?
And just for our own accelerator group, we have our own question, which is how can we use animals to tell stories that expand our worldview?
So, the symbols of animals between humans have been found from the beginning of the Earth, especially during prehistoric times, which was about 2 million years ago. They have always been dependent with each other in different aspects. This can be found within the African savanna from the hieroglyphics shown within caves. It is shown that animals have been symbolized to show their territories, civilizations, and powers, and especially working together between agriculture and supply and demand. So throughout our project, we as a group went to CSU Spur and USDA. This is one of the interviews from CSU Spur talking about the symbolics between animal and humans.
So my name's Isabella Murray. My colleague Olivia's right here. So what's your name?
I'm Cole Hawkins.
It's lovely to meet you. So the first question we want to ask you is, how have you seen animals symbolized with humans or symbolized with culture? Or how have you seen animals symbol humans?
Well, obviously, animals are really, really important on a daily basis because they provide us food, but they also are a really important part of some cultures. So, thinking back to the Native Americans and how important horses were to them and their lifestyle.
That's a really good answer. So question 3 is, what is your favorite piece of media that represents animals?
That's a really good question. What I'll have to say is there's some really good social media advocates that really advocate for the beef industry, and because I have a background in the beef industry, that's probably my favorite. So there's an Instagram page called The Beef Advocate, and they have some really good facts and daily posts and that kind of stuff.
All right, and our final question is, what does the history of animals teach us?
I think the history of animals, as far as the use of animals and production, teaches us just how efficient agriculture is today and how well animals are treated today. Because if we look back in history, animals weren't treated the greatest, and agriculture wasted a lot. And today we can't afford to do either of those.
So that was a really insightful interview, and now I'm just going to head back to what we were discussing about the history. So, like Olivia said, the history between animals and humans have always been there since the beginning of Earth. Humans have always used animals to help with travel, the development of food, land, and just for emotional comfort, especially nowadays. In return, humans will make sure that these animals are well protected, fed, and have a good overall life. This is called a human and animal bond. So, throughout history, this has always been shown. We've used animals to help with travel, especially back in the day when we would use them to deliver message across the world when we didn't have trains or anything like that. And in return, we would give animals this nice life, give them food and comfort. So let's talk about this main relationship between animals and humans. Like I said, the relationship between these two different species have always been the same. Humans evolved from animals, so we've always kind of had that nature connection, especially in our DNA and stuff. We kind of think alike. That is why so many people use animals to describe someone's personality, like wolf being a good leader, a lion being a good hunter. So this just shows how humans and animals are very similar to each other, and that this relationship isn't always beneficial, especially back in the day. Like the interviewer said, he said that it wasn't always the best and that we can abuse our animals most of the time. So it's important to recognize how important these relationships we have in them, how much they provide with us, how much they allow us to do stuff we wouldn't have been able to do without them. There is a second interview we did at CSU Spur that will kind of describe on this topic more.
Who are we here with?
My name is Bailey.
And I'm Jake.
That's great to know. So we have a couple questions for you, just about animals and humans and their relationships. So here are some of the questions. Do you believe that human and animal relationships are important? And if so, why?
Yes, I think they're really important. I think we're both able to take care of each other. We get to take care of animals and they take care of us. They offer stress relief and happiness and laughter. So I think it's important for that.
It's great to know.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Okay.
I think,
Okay. Yeah, that's a pretty good answer. I agree because animals, I feel like they're really similar in their bonds and just their nature. Second question. So, Do you think that humans are important to animals' health in terms of food?
Humans are in turn. Yeah, well, yes. I mean, we're providing a lot of the food and nutrition for animals, so it's important to do it correctly. But when you offer a good balanced diet, we play a critical part in that.
Last question is, do you believe that animals and humans are interdependent? If so, how?
Yes, I think they are. I think they need us to take good care of them and make sure they're safe, make sure they're fed, and I think we need them for a lot of reasons, even using their poop. We can use their poop in agriculture to help fertilize food and help it grow, so.
Honestly, understood because of the soil and everything. Do you have any input?
Nothing more to add besides that.
Okay.
So, as your interview said, animals do have a lot of support for us, especially emotionally. And I really want to dive deep into that emotional connection because throughout media, a lot of stories are personifications of animals being humans. For example, we could see that through the film Mr. Fantastic Fox.
I don't want to live in a hole anymore. It makes me feel poor.
We are poor, but we're happy.
In my opinion, I believe that animals have been emotionally connected with humans throughout these years.
Go off of what Olivia said later. Another film that really represents this is Bolt.
I knew you'd come back.
And this kind of shows animals save human lives every day. So it's hard to describe how without this connection, where would we be now? In an example of Animal Farm, it's a book written about all these animals on a farm and it represents Napoleon. Animals help teach children, so they're very symbolic to us as humans. So now here's an interview we took from USDA.
So, hello, I'm Olivia. Who am I here with?
You're here with Sydney.
Hello, Sydney. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Pretty good, pretty good. So, we have a couple questions for you. First question is, how have you seen humans learn from animal behavior to improve life?
I think a really great person to talk about right now would definitely be Temple Grandin. Obviously, I'm representing CSU here right now, so we get to talk a lot about Temple Grandin and what she's able to do. I would say Temple Grandin had a really unique opportunity to actually understand the way animals think, and now she's completely renowned in the agricultural industry for the things that she was able to learn and the things that she's been able to do to help have better animal welfare and take care of them. And I think that's a huge understanding of she understood their behavior, and so that means as an agricultural industry we can better take care of the animals that we have.
Next question is, how have you seen the stock show influence people that attend?
So I've been at Stock Show working it for 2 years now, and I had a guy walk up to me and he goes, I'm from Chicago, Illinois, and he was like, I have never seen anything Western. I never really understood like the Western way of life, or everything you hear about agriculture just sounds really bad. And then they came to Denver, and they moved to Denver, and they heard all about the National Western Stock Show Parade. So they're like, let's go down, let's check it out. And he goes, I have never seen so many people in a parade walk and be so happy, and just like you could just tell everybody wanted to be there. And I think that was such a powerful story for me, because I think that's the way the agricultural industry is as a whole. And not only that, but you see that every single year at Stock Show. We're really able to see people come and they want to be here, because Stock Show is such an important example of who we are as an agricultural industry and who we are as Denver in a Western state.
So to end things off, we're going to go back to the big question, which is, to what extent are animals and humans in a symbiotic and interdependent relationship? I believe that they are to a very big extent, and that humans would not be as developed as animals.
I feel like the extent is infinite, honestly, because although animals can't help us physically, and obviously they can't really, do all these things for us, they are an extent to our mentality.
Infinitely, almost. We abuse animals all the time. Some humans do. We don't treat them well. We hunt them for our food. But again, that's just the circle of life. They help us. We help animals. But humans take advantage of animals all the time. Would you disagree with that?
I would not disagree with that. I actually do agree with that a lot. We do see that a lot in zoos, and we can even see that in the public eye within streets. And I believe that although it's not infinitely, I believe emotionally, and as we connect with them more, we can expand it without any limit.
I do agree with you mostly. Animals and humans have such a unique relationship with each other, and without this relationship, we just wouldn't be where we are today. They influence our childhood, they influence our future, they influence money, economics, and it's just without this relationship, we wouldn't be advanced as a civilization. We've always helped each other. Most of the time, I would say 80% at the least, humans and animals have this type of relationship.
Well, that is going to be a wrap of our animal and human relationship podcast. I'm Olivia.
I'm Isabella.
And we thank you for listening.
Have a blessed day.